Hi, family. Welcome to my channel where I share everyday life Christian content. Hi, family. Welcome to my channel. I am Chenge, or you can call me Sisi Chenge. Welcome to this episode of Chats with Sisi Chenge. Here we share issues that affect us as Christians in our daily lives. And today, on this episode, I will be talking to the newlyweds. Yay! I'm so excited. So, on this episode, I'll be just bringing awareness of certain things that you need to know as you walk in this lifetime journey that you've just started. So, number one, your first year of marriage is more of like your foundational year. You're going to be learning a lot of things from each other. So there are certain things that you're going to see in your husband in terms of behavioral traits, and there are certain things that you're going to see from your wife in terms of behavioral traits. And some of the things that you're going to see, some you might like them and some you might not like them. So what happens is you need to understand that you're two different people coming from two different upbringings. So definitely there are going to be differences. And you're supposed to appreciate the fact that there are differences because of the different way that we were raised. So now here comes a time, it will be mostly this season, you are supposed to exercise as much patience as possible. Because at times you might see that the difference in your husband is something maybe that affects you, or the difference in your wife is something that really affects you. So you might need to communicate those things. So when you communicate some of these things, do not expect a change immediately. At times the changes, they don't come as immediate as you have communicated them. So you need to exercise patience, knowing that whatever that I'm telling my husband or whatever that I'm telling my wife, it's something that he or she has practiced for like several years. Maybe you had met each other and he's 30, so it means that this is something that he had practiced for like 30 years. So you can't just expect something that is worth 30 years to change like in a day or a month or 2 years. You have to understand that this will come to change gradually and gradually. So you have to continuously communicate that, my husband, concerning this issue, the way you do this and this, maybe let me just give an example. Maybe after he removes his clothes, he just places his clothes on the floor. He doesn't take time to pick up his clothes and put them in the laundry basket. You need to explain that, no, if you continue doing this, I'll end up being frustrated. I will have to do work over and over again. So never feel frustrated when maybe like it seems like there's something that you see in someone and then that thing that does not seem to change. It will take time. So be a little merciful with each other. Whatever weaknesses that they might be there, be aware that it will take time because of the years of practice that this person has been doing this thing. So no matter whatever that thing might be, just give it time. Over time, as you continuously affirm the things that you like as a wife, and as he continuously affirms the things that he likes as a husband, you will see that sooner or later you will end up being in sync. So be patient. This is your foundational year. Learn each other. Learn to know how to even communicate with each other concerning these weaknesses, because it will help you. It will make you enjoy your marriage with time. So communication is key when it comes to learning each other and understanding the differences that you have with each other. Okay, so I'm going to number 2. You need to be sensitive to cultural norms. So what happens is that cultural norms have a way of affecting marriage, whether you know it or you don't, or you appreciate this or you don't. So what happens is that there are certain cultural norms that we have around us, especially in the African culture concerning marriage. There are certain cultural norms that we know. Like, let me take, for example, the issue of house chores. That's a common cultural norm in Africa. So in most cases in Africa, what we do is what people believe in actually is that the woman is supposed to handle the chores. But then we're now living in a dynamic world. Like, things are changing so fast. So back then, the wife didn't go to work. She used to be at home, and she used to run the house. She used to do the chores and everything. But now, in nowadays, at times, both the husband and the wife goes to work. So at times, you might end up getting into an agreement with your husband that, okay, so the chores are now becoming a bit weighty on me. So, my husband, can you please help me with this? Can you please help me with that? So that will be okay with you as a couple. Completely okay with you as a couple in your house. But, like, let's say if you go now to the rural areas and then you find your husband helping you as a wife. Now, you're opening yourselves up to a lot of chatter. Like, people will say a lot of things because of the general cultural norms that are there. Or maybe, let's say you visit a relative that you know that is really grounded in the cultural norms that are there. You have to learn to manage those cultural norms. Like, if you have visited a relative that you know is strict to the culture and things like that, then for that season, you can just keep it to yourself. You as the wife, you can just be doing the chores, just to manage that cultural norm that is there. You just have to act wisely, you know. You don't have to say, okay, so no, as for me and my husband, we help each other with chores, so you don't have to tell me what to do and etc. That will affect you. Like, you don't want to end up in a scenario whereby the relatives are continuously saying things about you, nasty stuff about you and all that. So you just need to manage it. And sometimes, even in like, let's say if you live in a Western culture, and then, like, let's say your husband and you have agreed that as a wife you'll be doing the chores, and then you go to a Western culture and then they see the wife doing the chores 2/7, and it will be a cultural norm that will also affect you, because in the Western culture they kind of like help each other as well. So they'll be saying like, she does everything all by herself. So you see, you need to be generally sensitive to the cultural norms so that you avoid like external chatter. You avoid those external voices coming to your marriage. You just need to manage it. Just be wise about it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so number 3, your partner is the best person to teach you how to maneuver around your relatives' personalities. So what am I really saying, like, concerning this? Take, for example, like, you know that this relative of mine, this particular relative of mine, does not really appreciate like ladies wearing trousers. The best thing that, like, take for example, it's your husband who knows that they have a relative who does not prefer trousers. So the best thing that your husband can do is to tell you, okay, so if you're going to Auntie Ningi's place, you're supposed to wear a dress or a skirt, because she generally doesn't prefer people who wear trousers when they're women. So you've managed that relative's personality. Or take for example grandma, and then she doesn't prefer like people who wear makeup. You don't know that, like, you didn't grow up with this grandmother. So your husband can communicate with you. You know, when you're seeing grandma, for you to win favor in her eyes, just for a moment, just don't wear your makeup. Just be cautious of those things. Help each other to maneuver through the relatives' personalities that are there, because there are different personalities that are there. But I'm not saying that you should change yourself, no, but you should just be sensitive to these things. So usually concerning issues about personality and your different relatives, it's only your partner who can really help you. Because if you try and play like a guess game, that's when you make mistakes at times, and some of the mistakes that you will make will cause people to say a lot of things that are maybe that do not actually align with your personality and your character. And at times that can be hurtful to you, and it can cause a lot of unnecessary pressure and unnecessary turmoil. So being sensitive to some of these things and being open and helping each other concerning like how to maneuver different people's personality will actually help you to have like a sound marriage as well. Okay, so number 4, there are certain things. Okay, this is like an uncommon topic. People rarely talk about this. There are certain things that might affect your marital bed. So things like contraceptives, things like pregnancy, things like after birth, those things can negatively affect your marital bed. So the best thing to do is, when you see things not going like maybe the way they used to and things like that, just have a checklist between those 3 things: contraceptives, during pregnancy, or after birth. Just see if there's something that is there. And if the best is you can communicate with your gyno and he can give you the best medical advice he can, or even going for counseling, for Christian counseling, like from sound people, not from people like who will end up telling everyone your stories. So yeah, you need to be aware of those things. So some people are not aware of these things and they end up like having clashes and disagreements and things like that due to these seasons of life. But once you're aware of these things, at least sometimes it helps you know like how to maneuver around these things. Like, let's say if it so happens to you, then you will know like how to act when things like that begin to happen. So I thought number 4 was just necessary for me as well to talk about. So number 5, this season that you've just started, it's the best time for you to learn to practice praying together, fasting together, reading the word together, and just checking up on each other's development in terms of spiritual maturity. Like just checking, you said you're going to read this chapter, you said you're going to read from this book from this time to that time. Have you managed to achieve your goals? And just making sure that your partner's spiritual life is growing. Do you know why it is important? Especially in marriages, because there are a lot of spirits that fight marriages. There are a lot of spirits that don't like the unity and love and joy in marriages. So if you don't exercise or practice these things while you're still young in marriage and while you're starting to grow in marriage, what happens is when those fights come and you start trying to pray when the fights come, you won't be able to overcome. You won't be able to stand. You need a good foundation of prayer life. You need a good foundation right now, not tomorrow. If you try and wait for the season of the evil day, you will not be able to stand. So now is the right time for you to develop as a family a good spiritual life, good growth, maturing in the Lord. This is the right time for you to grow in maturity in the Lord. Once again, thank you guys for watching till the end. To my new viewers, don't forget to subscribe, and to my subscribers, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and know which parts helped you the most. Just comment below the parts that you think, okay, I think I learned a lot from this section, or maybe you need a bit more explanation and you just comment and say, concerning this point, I didn't really understand. Comment down below. Thank you so much. Bye guys. Love you.